Hello everyone. Today we're going to be talking about a straight-to-Netflix movie that caught a lot of flack. Personally, I think a lot of people weren't looking at this movie for what it is, an Adam Sandler movie. In case you've been living under a rock somewhere, we're reviewing The Ridiculous Six. I'm Ollamh, and welcome to Geek Corner Reviews. Now, looking at this film as far as plot and characters, it really is just a basic spaghetti western. A boy is abandoned in the Wild West by his father, his mother is killed, and he is adopted and raised by Native Americans. As he grows up, he develops extraordinary skills of some sort that make him stand out and able to handle extreme situations. Throw in at the time, unusual or forbidden romantic interest, and we have the start to a large number of movies. All of a sudden, Daddy comes back and wants to make up lost time with his son. But what's this? They're bad guys wanting money out of the father. Well, it's up to his surprisingly dutiful son to get the money together and save his dad. Now, if you've ever seen a Western film, you know there are only a few ways to gather large sums of money. Buried treasure, robbing a bank, robbing a train, or stealing from rich eccentric people. This movie does all of them, but at each turn there is a new character introduced as a half-brother to the main character. As you might imagine, with so many plots to get money, none of them are focused on enough to really stick in your mind. They seem overly simple robberies that, while they don't go off without a hitch, aren't severe sticking points for our characters. The final confrontation even seems pretty textbook, with a betrayal, the love interest being put in danger, and our hero having to use his skills to do the impossible. Then everyone lives happily ever after as one big family. So with all that said, let's get into some of the criticisms. Most people feel that this is extremely disrespectful to Native Americans. They are not portrayed as a noble tribe, but more as an ethnic caricature. Even with some of the Native Americans coming forth saying they enjoyed the movie, it's easy to see why there is a problem. But that is part of being a parody and comedy. To have a caricature of an ethnic group is pretty standard. Was there an outcry of the over-the-top portrayal of Caucasians in Undercover Brother? Is Blazing Saddles viewed as a horrible movie because of its portrayal of African Americans? If we say that you can't have such a portrayal of one group, then really you can't have it for any group. In the same vein, people feel strongly about Rob Schneider's caricature of a half-Mexican man. Now let me repeat that. He's half Mexican, with the same Caucasian father as Adam Sandler. Now, this is not Schneider's first time portraying an over-the-top ethnicity. He's played all kinds of different groups in his time in SNL, with no major backlash. So why do people accept him as, say, a Greek for a short sketch, but not in a full movie? Is it the amount of time that a person plays a role, or is it that it's only funny for a short time, but when you see it portrayed for a long time, it just gets grating? Adam Sandler movies have always had something about them that is offensive. He always puts in childish humor. These are things that should be expected when seeing one of his movies. In Waterboy, he played a mentally challenged character, but that movie was well loved. Besides the humor and offensiveness, his movies have never been great cinematic pieces. Happy Gilmore was about someone learning to calm his anger and focus by learning to play golf. The Wedding Singer, arguably one of his best movies, was actually mediocre at best. It was a hit because of the 80s references and soundtrack. Take those away and you have a very forgettable movie. In the end, The Ridiculous Six is a normal, average Adam Sandler movie. Produced by his own production company, it's not going to stand up to a film made by major production companies like Universal or Disney. It's a relatively low budget, about $60 million, movie that was on par with the normal productions for the company that made it. It would be like trying to get offended at Troma Studios for making a monster flick with nudity. That is what they are known for. And they do it independent of major studios. So, if you like Adam Sandler movies, you might want to check this one out. If not, go hit the theaters and watch a major movie release. Just remember to take into account who is making the movie before you gripe about it. As always, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more from Ollamh Productions. Cheerio! Now, some of the darker aspects of the Dread universe is the source of food. With the decimated land after the apocalypse, there isn't much.
Ah, bad guys.
Hey, what are you doing here?
I am shooting your butts.